Hello, I'm Chad Moutre, Senior Vice President for Research and Chief Economist at the National Restaurant Association. As we close out June 2025, I want to highlight three key economic trends that we're closely following, each shaping the outlook for the restaurant and food service sector over the coming months. First, let's acknowledge the obvious. Restaurants, like the diners that they serve, have faced significant disruptions so far through the first 6 months of this year. At the end of 2024, we projected 2.4% economic growth in 2025, but increased uncertainty has altered that trajectory. We now expect real GDP to grow by a very modest 1.5% this year, with some continued softening in overall spending. While inflation has eased in recent months, cost pressures remain a persistent challenge for restaurants, and rising tariffs could add to that strain. These conditions have prompted the Federal Reserve to adopt a cautious posture, with interest rate cuts unlikely before September. Together, these headwinds have kept consumers uneasy. Although sentiment has rebounded in the overall data, overall confidence remains subdued heading into the second half of this year. Consumers are cautious in their spending behavior, which is our second trend. Restaurant sales softened in May, with eating and drinking places seeing a 0.9% monthly drop, which was the steepest decline in more than 2 years. Our Restaurant Performance Index, which indicated contraction for 3 straight months, edged up to 100.1 in May. Encouragingly, 52% of operators in our latest tracking survey reported higher same-store sales, which was the strongest result in more than a year. That said, traffic trends and expectations remain mixed. In May, 42% of operators reported declining traffic, while 40% saw gains and 18% saw no change. Still, it was the most favorable traffic reading in 4 months. Looking ahead, uncertainty continues to cloud the outlook. 1/3 of operators expect higher sales over the next 6 months, 40% expect no change, and 27% anticipate declines. While this is the most optimistic reading since February, it signals caution more than confidence. The third trend is continued strength in the labor market, even with some signs of cooling. Restaurant employment has risen for 3 straight months, recovering from declines earlier in the year. Eating and drinking places added a net 91,200 jobs in March, April, and May combined. So far in 2025, the sector has added 25,300 jobs when you take into consideration the 65,900 jobs lost in January and February. We continue to forecast that the restaurant and food service industry will add 200,000 jobs this year, including 150,000 in eating and drinking places. Wages are also growing at a healthy pace, up 3.8% year over year. A still solid labor market and rising incomes remain key pillars of economic resilience, helping to keep a recession at bay. As always, we'll continue to monitor the data and adjust our outlook as conditions evolve. Thank you for your time, and be sure to follow our latest economic insights at restaurant.org and across our social media channels. Thank you, and have a great day.